I'll just go ahead now and walk over to Visual Studio Code. And if you haven't downloaded Visual Studio Code, please do so. It's free. And you just go to Visual Studio Code. You just type it in the Google. It's known by the whole world right now, so it's really one of the most used IDEs, integrated development environments that you can use. And this is what we use to write code in HTML, CSS, so many more languages than that, and a lot of programming as well. But we'll use it for HTML and CSS in this course. And when you open it up, I think I'll go ahead and do that. Close this one down, and then just go down here to Visual Studio Code, and then I'll open this one up. You'll get something that looks like this. It might not look exactly like this. You get questions and stuff like that. You can answer it either way you want, but please read them. And I'll try to, take care of a couple of things you might have questions about in this web browser, in this lecture about Visual Studio Code. But mostly, I'll actually look into how HTML looks and how you type it. So it might be in a situation where it looks like this, and then you go up to File, which is up there to the far left. But I don't like it when it's very small. I like it for me, yes, but not for you. So I'm going to zoom in. How do you do that? So you can go click this plus sign if you want to. I don't ever. I'm whenever you see me zooming in and zooming out the code, I'm actually holding down Control and then clicking on the plus sign. And if I zoom out, I click on the minus sign. So, and that's what I do. And then you see there is a lot of things going out to the left. Maybe I have something called Code GPT Chat. And I have extensions, I have search, and I have Explorer. And when I open this one, actually, I can see open folder. It asked me if I open some kind of folder, which we'll do a lot in the course, of course. But, and then we have search of extensions. I have a lot of extensions here. And feel free. You can, of course, download or put in an extension you want. But I cannot really, I cannot suggest any specific extension apart from a couple for this course, because they can be, a troublesome thing sometimes. Sometimes they do stuff with your program that you don't like it to do. So what I'm going to suggest is actually go into extensions and you go to up here to the search bar and you search for CSS Peak. And you use that one. You can use CSS Peak, and that is going to help you in the future of the course, but it's also a good thing to just, you can install it by now and you'll get into the use of this one in the future. Or if you do not understand it in the future, you can just, see and read more about it and you'll understand. CSS Peak is something you can install. You just click here. You probably have a button called this install. I don't have it because it's already installed in my machine. And then I'm using a theme that it's the way you see it. You get a lot of, called syntax highlighting. Syntax is the way we write code. And the colors used, and sometimes if it's italic or not, tells us what kind of thing this is. It makes it easier to read the code, so not everything is the same color. So there are a lot of themes already available in VS Code by just default. You can pick any of these if you want to, but please go ahead, pick dark theme for your head's sake. And then we go down here to, I think this one is really good, HTML CSS support. So I'd take this one, HTML CSS support, any day. I also take, there could be a couple of them, called HTML CSS support, but make sure it's by ECML. You see the publisher has to be the same. You can also see here, there's like, how many is using this one? So yeah, 20 million. It seems like a lot of people think the same way I do about this. And we have HTML hint. It's also something I advise you to have. And then we have IntelliSense for CSS class names in HT. When I've actually used a class name before, this helps me know about that class name having been used, so I don't have to type it out all the way again. I can use it and type very quickly. It's all about being efficient when you code, and even though don't know about class name, I just me saying that you have to type less should make you happy, because there's a lot of typing if you don't get the help. And please help yourself into looking into IntelliSense for CSS class names in HT. Signd, that's the publisher. And then we go to Live Server. It's actually crucial for this course. If you don't have it, it's going to be hard to try things out. So Live Server is really, really crucial. It just makes it possible for us to see this in a web browser and then just save, and then it automatically we can see the same thing being applied on the web browser. So when we change a letter and then we save and then we see it automatically updates on the web browser, it's really useful. Path IntelliSense, yeah, you could use it if you want to. I like it. And then I some people they're asking me, I have a lot of weird icons, and they're like, I don't have that kind of icons. What's going on? Yeah, I've installed this one. It's gonna make it easier for me to just visually, even though I don't read the file name. I can visually see what kind of file it is. It's a CSS or if it's HTML or if it's an image and so on and so forth. I can see that when I look up here and I see the file. So you will see a lot of files down here. And then we have, web accessibility suggestions there, which is really good. And then we have printer code formatter, which is very used. I mean, it's extremely used. 44,632,082. There's a lot of people here that use this, and it's a way you can just install this, enable it, and then when you do so, you can, because I've disabled it right now, and then right click on the HTML and just format code. It will apply the rules for how you format HTML, and it makes it quite a bit easier to read. Now, these are the extensions. Now, let's go ahead and look at HTML and just the simple thing about it. And to do that, I'm just going to head and create a browser. Now, sorry, create a folder. So I'm going to do that because I haven't already created a folder by just saying I'm going to open a folder. And then let's go into take it here on the desktop. You can just type called creating a folder, and let's say HTML_basics. I'm making a practice of using small letters, and small characters when you type and give file names, and make it also don't use any foreign characters like O, Ä, Ö, tyskt Y, Y, and so on and so forth. Don't use, apostrophe, apostrophe, and stuff like that. What you really need to think about, you want to keep your names really easy to read for any language. So please use English and use underscores. And whenever required in the submissions in this course, you must follow them. This is me asking for you to do it always, but whenever you make a submission in this course, it's not something you can choose either or. You have to abide by this. So I've created this folder, and you may or may not see that it says HTML_basics. I'm using underscore instead of using space. And there you go. I've opened a folder and it's empty, of course. And it says the folder name up here, HTML Basics, and you can see it clearly now. So let me create a file. I'll create a file. And it doesn't know anything about that file, as you see. I could just, let's give it a standard name. You'll see this a lot. Index.html. Now, the first part here, index, it could have said anything really. Could have said apa.html if you want to. But it's usually so we use one. Today, most of the time we use one HTML file and we just change the things inside the HTML file while using JavaScript, Python, or whatever programming language on the side. But we're not there yet. So we're going to, during this course, use different HTML files, yes, and we'll give them different names because they cannot all be named HTML, index.html. But this is a common practice, so therefore I'll give it index.html right now, even though it will not be a large part of this course. And then next, because I have these extensions installed, or just the fact that VS Code helps with these things, I could just start here saying HT, and when I'm in an HTML document, like you see, it's actually showing me this file, which stands for HTML5, which is the modern. It's not even modern anymore because it was like created way back before 2010, before that. But it's still, it is the one we use. And it's going to give me, just by me typing two of these things, it's going to say, look, yeah, do you want a standard layout for a basic HTML5 page? Yes, I do, please. I don't want to type this myself. So I'm clicking here, and then suddenly it's like, wow, that was a lot of text. Not like a tremendous amount, but it definitely helped me not to, type this myself. So this is basically the bare minimum what an HTML page is all about. What you need to have here. Again, we can walk all of it over it soon, but first off, I think we need to head up here to the white dot and say, we did something. We created something inside this, HTML thing, and it's a white dot up here. What does it mean? It actually means that some change has been made to the document that hasn't yet been saved. So let us save. And it's easy. It's a Control S. Whatever, if you sit to Mac, every time I'm saying Control, you hear Command. So CMD. Whenever I say Control, know that I'm sitting on a PC and you're sitting on a Mac. So whenever I say Control, you say Command. Okay? So for Mac users, it's Command S. For me, as a PC user, it's Control S. This is now saved. And since I have live server from here over and extensions installed, which you should also have by now, I can either go up here, right click and go open with live server and go down here and go live. And I'll go live. I'll do it from here because sometimes for some weird reason, the one to the bottom right there doesn't really work. So, I'll do this, and it's going to open up this one. Big white screen. It just popped into your face, and you're getting annoyed by that, of course. And I can zoom on it a lot. It doesn't really matter because whatever I do here, there's white. Zooming on white will just show me more white. But there are things we need to know about this. I'm gonna, put it here to the right. And now the feature of me putting this one to the right has nothing to do with VS Code. It's me using just a snappy thing that's part of PCs or Windows or something like that. Windows, of course. Mac probably has it as well. So I use it a lot, and you'll see it in the videos. It's not part of the Visual Studio Code, though. And now I get questions about that. How do you do that? Yeah. It's not Visual Studio Code. It's Windows. So you see, I see nothing over here. I want to see something. So I'll put something here in body. I put on H1 and whoa, H1, and then I just when I type HTML, I usually don't want to type a lot. I never want to type a lot, so I'm just writing H1 and I hit tab. Wow, it just understood. It helped me. These are called emits, by the way, when they are interpreting the things we want. So I want on H1. What does it stand for? So for heading 1, so it's the main headline. I'm going to give it one. And we could say just HTML basics. I'm giving it all caps here. Not that I have to at all, but I just do it so you can see it. And now when I zoom, you can actually zoom into the text and you see it's in there. We have something on our page. And up here it says document. And you may or may not see it, but up here on this tab, it says document as well. That is just change that and say HTML. And then this time I'm not going to do it all caps. I'm going to do it like this and save. And now it says HTML basics. And basically I'm going to take this one as well because I don't want all caps. Not my taste all the time. At least now it's changed over here as well. You see, every time I hit Control S and I do it almost automatically. I don't tell you about it. I'm just doing it because every time I see this white dot up here, I know it hasn't been saved yet. So every time I do that, it changes to the right. Let me do it again. P, and then go tab, and then go hey, and then go Control S. It updated. It says hey. Wonderful, just exactly what I want. And now I'm going to go ahead and go back into PowerPoint and see what we can do with this one. Let's take this text. And let's get back into this one. And we just paste this text. And what is that? We got something weird going on here. Let's see. I'm going to just make this shorter so it's easier visible. This enter that I did, this return thing, where I put it on 2 lines, is not going to be part of the page. I can actually just do this. That's not going to be part. Not unless I want it to be. So here I save it. You see it's a long line here. The return doesn't get ended. And we see Dalarna University. We create open path and knowledge for a good society, and our students and staff are changing the world. We use this right now. We're setting heading 2, which is the second level. And we're using the paragraph. This is valid code. You may sometimes in your life see elements that are not some element that you can see or read about. They could be, of course, for intents and purposes, you could just type my name in here, Alexander. And if I could spell my name, that would be even better. Alexander. And then I type Alexander here, and I can save, and it's going to be shown as well. Now, the thing here, this is a custom element. I could actually give any name in here, as long as it sits together here. It isn't separated by space. So why would I ever want to do that? And well, I don't ever want to do that. But some people do, and then they can apply extra semantics or meaning to it afterwards. So I don't see any reason for why you should do it, and we don't do it in this course. But there are custom elements that you can just create yourself, and then you can apply meaning to them. Meanings that are already in the existing elements. So you don't have to create, custom elements. But of course, I need to tell you, there are going to be cases where you are out on the web and you're seeing some weird name and you say, how is this possible? How does it work? Well, HTML5 is free like that. So we have this HTML and you're already seeing it work and you see me update it. We'll get back to what this means in the future. Now to the next lecture, next part of this lecture.